Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the incredible, multi-billion-dollar machine that has one single purpose: to influence how you vote. Honestly, it's a system that's way more sophisticated and pervasive than most of us can even wrap our heads around. So let's break down how it actually works.
Just think about that for a second. The moment you wake up, you grab your phone. Maybe you see a news alert or a trending topic or, that forward from your family's WhatsApp group. Well, the campaign has already reached you. And none of that is by accident. It's all part of a meticulously designed system.
So how is public opinion manufactured on such an industrial scale, right? How are these big narratives built? And how are you, the voter, profiled, targeted, and kind of nudged towards a decision that politicians want you to believe is completely your own?
To get a sense of the scale, you just have to follow the money. This number right here, this is the estimated cost of the 2024 Indian general election. We're talking about $16 billion US. That makes it the most expensive election in human history. And that staggering amount of cash, well, that's the fuel for the marketing machine we're about to take apart. Okay, so where does all that money even go? Well, a massive chunk of it funds a political marketing strategy that pretty much borrows its playbook directly from the corporate world. It turns out selling political power isn't all that different from selling, say, a bar of soap or a new smartphone. And political parties in India have become absolute masters of using a classic marketing framework known as the 4 Ps.
At its very core, political marketing is all about packaging and selling ideas, things you can't really hold. Instead of a physical product, parties are selling concepts like security or a sense of belonging, or just the promise of a better future. And the techniques they use are identical to big brands. Deep research into what voters want, slicing up the population into target groups, and crafting the absolute perfect message for each and every one of them.
And here it is. This is the blueprint they all use: product, price, place, and promotion. So let's break down each one, and you'll see exactly how this works out in the real world.
First up, you've got the product. This isn't just a thing. It's the candidate, the party, and the main story they're trying to sell you. The 2014 election is a perfect case study. The BJP's product wasn't just a list of policies. No, it was Narendra Modi himself, a meticulously crafted brand that stood for development, strong leadership, and Hindu cultural pride, all rolled into one powerful package.
Next up is price. But the price you pay isn't in rupees. It's your trust. It's your time and your attention. And sometimes it's even about weaving your own personal identity into a political movement. Really, it's the cost of your belief.
So how do they deliver this product to you? That brings us to place: the distribution channels. And this is where the scale just becomes mind-boggling. Political parties have built these enormous infrastructures to get their message to you directly. The BJP, for instance, has a massive network of booth-level workers, and they claim 180 million people in their WhatsApp groups. This is all about making sure their message reaches every village, every neighborhood, and, of course, every single screen. And this brings us to the final P: promotion. We're not just talking about the TV ads and the giant billboards you see everywhere. It's the rallies, sure, but more and more, it's the highly personal and targeted messages that land directly on your phone. In modern Indian politics, promotion is a 24/7, 365-day-a-year operation. It never stops.
All right, so you've got the product and you've got the massive distribution network. But how do you make your message so incredibly loud that it just drowns out everything else? Well, for that, you need to build what you might call a propaganda megaphone.
And it all starts with money. I mean, just take a look at the reported party incomes for the 2022-23 financial year. The disparity is absolutely staggering. The BJP's declared income was more than all the other national parties combined. This financial imbalance isn't just a result of their success. You could argue it's a major cause of it.
This chart really puts that dominance into perspective, doesn't it? When one party has this much more financial firepower, it means they can buy more media time, run more ads, and manage a much bigger ground game. The key takeaway here is that this financial imbalance directly shapes the political reality you experience. It literally determines whose message you hear the loudest and the most often.
A huge part of that megaphone is, of course, the mainstream media. And here, the ownership structure is absolutely key. For example, the massive Network 18 group, which owns dozens of news channels, is owned by Reliance Industries, India's largest private corporation. This setup creates a kind of structural incentive for favorable coverage, often without anyone ever needing to pick up a phone and give it direct order. The system just works that way.
Now, this whole situation has led critics to coin the term Gaudy media, which you could translate as lapdog media.
This refers to news outlets that are seen as functioning more like propaganda arms for the party in power. You've probably seen the format, a panel of 4 people where 3 guests are loudly supporting the government and there's one token opposition voice who just gets shouted down. The real goal isn't debate, it's to shape the debate itself.
But listen, it's not all about just blasting a single message to everybody. The real genius, and honestly maybe the most unsettling part of modern political marketing, is its ability to target you specifically.
What's this number? 1.05 million. This is the number of polling booths across India. And believe it or not, the campaign to win your vote starts right here, at the most granular, local level you can possibly imagine.
See, at each one of those million-plus booths, parties have workers on the ground, and their job is to collect incredibly detailed data on every single voter in that area. Your likely party preference, your caste, your religion, your economic situation. This creates a massive human intelligence network that feeds a central database. All of that data is then plugged into a system for what's called micro-targeting. This is where official voter rolls get cross-referenced with consumer data, your social media profiles, and who knows what else to build a comprehensive profile of you. And what's the end game? Well, it's to send you a perfectly tailored message designed to resonate with your specific identity, your anxieties, and your hopes.
And this is where you see the oldest tool in Indian politics, identity, getting supercharged by the newest technology. Caste and religion have always been central to elections here. But now, data analytics allows parties to micro-target not just a large caste group, but dozens of individual subcastes. So one community might get messages about agricultural subsidies, while another, maybe just a few kilometers away, gets completely different messages about job reservations, each one with custom-built outreach and promises. So now that we've seen the mechanics of the system, the big question is, what can we do? I think just understanding how the game is played is the absolute first step toward not being played by it.
So here are a few tools for what you might call a citizen's shield. First, media literacy. When you see a news story, just ask, who is telling me this and why are they telling it to me now? Second, financial tracking. Ask, who's funding the candidates and parties I see everywhere? Third, and this is probably the most important one, identity awareness. When you see a message that makes you feel angry or fearful of another group, just stop and ask the most powerful question of all, who benefits from my anger? And finally, stay engaged civically, not just during the big national elections, but at the local level where change is often most real.
Ultimately, it really all comes down to this. In the face of this massive, sophisticated marketing machine, your most powerful defense is a conscious, informed, and critical choice. Political marketing is designed to work on you. The only way to counter it is to make sure that you are the one calling the shots.